Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to Read Aloud. Today we're going to read the book called dun, 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 Sharks by Seymour Simon. Wow, so we've been learning so much about sharks and reading different books that I feel like we have a good grip on sharks, that topic. But one thing I notice about books that I read or we read together on this topic is that I learn something new every single book, and that also adds on to the information that I already know, right? So before we even begin reading a couple pages in this book, we're going to preview the pages that we're going to read. And I want you to think about something that's common across all these pages compared to all the other books we've read. Okay, you ready? So I'm going to skim through it. Here I'm looking at the sea and I'm seeing like sharks that all look similar. So they look like perhaps hammerhead sharks, right? Okay, let's keep going. This shark looks like he's eating prey. Looks like a fish. Then I see a couple sharks swimming around in the ocean. Uh-oh, shark again eating his prey. But what are you noticing in this book so far? I'm gonna give you about a minute to think. I'm gonna scroll through it again, and I want you to think about what you're noticing. How many of you are noticing that there's a lot of text compared to the other books you've read? Right? And it's common across all pages. How many of you noticing that there are no chapter headings? Yes. So as readers, as we read each page, what we're going to work on is thinking about what the author is teaching you and then creating the perfect title or chapter heading for each section. Do you think we can do that? This is going to take a lot of work. Why? Because now we have to really read to understand what the author is teaching us. Okay? All right. We're going to start reading. I'm going to start from the beginning. Seymour Simon, Sharks. So that's the author. The name of the book is called Sharks. All right, we're going to read this section here. I'm going to blow it up so you're able to see it. And as we read, I want you to think about what we might be learning. So just take a look at this section and think, what am I going to be learning in this section? I'll give you about a minute to do so. Okay? Think about what are you going to be learning in this section. Got about 20 more seconds. Ten more seconds. All right, boys and girls, you have an idea? All right, so I want you to keep that idea in the back of your mind. And as we read, we're going to think about the main idea of this section and a good chapter heading for this section. Are you ready? Okay. Sharks are fish, but they are very different from most fish. They belong to a class of fish known as chondrichthyes. The name comes from the Greek word chondros, which means cartilage, and ichthyos, which means fish. Wow. Like all fish, sharks have backbones and teeth. But unlike other fish, sharks have no other bones. Their skeletons are made of cartilage, a tough, white, flexible material, just like the stuff at the end of your nose and your ears. So let's pause here for a second. And I remember when we're annotating in a text, we always think about what? Boxing repeating words, underlining important details, circling keywords, right? And using arrows for connecting parts. So let's do that right now. So I'm going to get my pen and I'm going to annotate on the screen. Okay? And as I annotate, I want you to think about what's very important. So I'm noticing that the word fish is here a lot. So I'm going to circle it. So fish. 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 Let's see if we see it again. Fish. Sharks are also repeating. Also, we gotta box it. I'm trying my best to box it. Fish. Sharks. Yep, okay. Now, we learned some new information, so let's underline important details. You ready? Sharks are fish, but they are very different from most fish. So we know that they are fish, but they're very different from most fish. That's what the author wants you to understand. The sharks are very different from most fish. So let's underline that. Very different from most fish. I'm not sure why it's not letting me. They belong to a class of fish known as chondrichthyes, right? The names come from the Greek word chondros. Oh, this is an important word, and so is this one. So let's circle some of these important words. Good. And we know that this word, chondrichthyes, means cartilage. Chondros means cartilage, and ichthyes, which means a type of fish, right? Good. So let's underline that. Okay. Now, let's continue to read. Like all the fish, sharks have bones and teeth. But unlike other fish, sharks have no bones. So now we're learning sharks have no other bones. We know that their skeletons are made of cartilage, and that's a tough, white, flexible material, just like the end of your nose and ears. All right, let's continue reading. Like most fish, sharks breathe through gills. Keyword. But while most fish have one pair of gills, sharks have 5 to 7, as you can see on the Caribbean reef shark. Wow, so let's make a connection. Now we're learning that sharks have 5 to 7 gills, okay, unlike other fish who have one pair of gills. So like, here's the Caribbean reef shark. Now we know what type of shark is in this picture. So I'm going to draw an arrow to the shark's gill. See that? Most fish don't have eyelids, but some kinds of sharks have 3 of them for each eye. Wow. That's interesting. So most fish don't have eyelids, but sharks have 3 of them for each eye. 2 are like yours, an upper and lower lid. So only 2 of them are like an upper and lower lid. The third eyelid is transparent. Wow, this word is a big word. That means it covers the entire eye and protects it. Oh, interesting. Sharks also, I'm going to underline that information. Sharks also lack the swim bladder and keeps most bony fish afloat. Afloat, maybe that means like on top of the water. A swim bladder is like a balloon inside. So now we know what a swim bladder is. It's like a balloon inside the fish body that keeps them buoyant, right? Sharks keep from sinking because there's oil in their livers that acts like a float, and also because they keep swimming. If a shark stops swimming, its weight pulls it down to the bottom. Scientists calculate that sharks cruise at about 1 or 3 miles per hour. A few kinds can suddenly speed through the water up to 40 miles per hour. So now we know that sharks can't stay afloat because their liver acts like a float, right? But if they stop swimming, their body pulls them down to the bottom of the ocean. Perhaps maybe that's why we find sharks a lot at the bottom of the ocean versus at the top. Maybe we find them at the top a lot, maybe when they're hunting for their prey or they're swimming, right? Wow, so we've learned a lot of information here. We've learned why a shark is called a fish, right? Where the name comes from. We've learned that sharks have no bones, but their skeletons are made of cartilage, right? We've also learned how many gills sharks have and how that helps them to breathe underwater. In addition, we also learned that sharks don't have a swim bladder. Like other fish, they have a swim bladder that keeps them afloat on top of the water, but sharks don't, right? Sharks keep from sinking because the oil in their livers that acts like a float and it keeps them from swimming, right? But if they stop swimming, it pulls them down at the bottom of the ocean. Wow. So what is a good title for this section? Because we learned a lot of information in each of these paragraphs. What is a good title for this section? I really want you to think about it. I'll give you about a minute and then we're going to write it, okay? All right, let's keep thinking. What would be a good title for this section? And we're going to put it right over here. Going to make it in black. We're going to put it right here. What would be a good title for this section? What do you guys think? So we learned about sharks being a fish. We learned about why they're known as a specific type of fish. We learned why they're different, right? And what makes a shark a shark. So, how about we name this section? What makes a shark different from other fish? Yes, I think that's a good one. What makes a shark different from other fish? What makes a shark different from other fish? That's a good title, don't you think? So do you see how we read everything? We kind of put the ideas together in our mind to think of a perfect title for this section. This was great work, boys and girls. I'm proud of you. We worked very well together. Next time we meet, we're going to continue to do this work. And we're going to continue to think of main idea, okay, and supporting details. Have a good day. Bye.